When was the last time you simply turned everything off, left all distractions behind, and stayed alone with yourself? In the modern world, information is everywhere. You have thousands of videos on TikTok, millions of videos on YouTube, countless posts on Instagram, millions of books that can be read online, and an endless number of podcasts to listen to. And there are also tons of entertainment movies and series. It is almost impossible to hide from this. We have found ourselves trapped in an endless cycle of information consumption. We consume it almost constantly. We watch something while eating, listen to something while studying, clean the house while listening to a podcast. We even take our phones to the bathroom to keep ourselves entertained there. We are all addicted and afraid of missing something. This stream of information never stops. Our brain becomes so overloaded that we cannot think clearly and focus on tasks that seem boring but necessary. I myself struggled to start writing this text because my thoughts were scattered. When we constantly bombard ourselves with new information, even educational information, we take away from the brain the time it needs to organize everything. As a result, we lose creativity. It becomes much harder to come up with new ideas when the mind has no time to reflect. I often talk about creativity because I truly believe it is important for the future progress of our society. The problem is not that we lose the ability to be creative. We simply do not give ourselves time for it. We do not leave space for the mind to process subconscious ideas. We are most creative when we are not receiving new information, when we are calm and simply thinking about the world. It is known that great ideas often come to minds where there are no distractions. Perhaps one of your trips to the shower will become one of the most productive moments in your life. There an idea may appear that changes everything. Creativity blossoms when we dive into our thoughts. That is why Da Vinci spent hours looking at his paintings without doing anything. When you do nothing, your brain is actually working hard, sorting received information into the right places. Most of us know that consuming huge amounts of information negatively affects our lives, yet we still do not stop. On average, people around the world spend almost 7 hours a day in front of screens. And since 2013, this time has increased by almost 50 minutes every day. The average American consumes about 34 gigabytes of information per day. Information overload is not a completely new phenomenon. Since the invention of the printing press in the 10th century, scholars and thinkers predicted that every technological breakthrough making information more accessible would lead to an uncontrollable flow. Imagine that people in the 10th century were already struggling with the amount of available information. Then what about us today when we can read almost any book in history online at any moment? The constant storm of information that we can never fully process reduces concentration, negatively affects memory, and eventually takes away our ability to be creative and make good decisions. In neuroscience, there is a concept called working memory, a cognitive system with limited capacity that temporarily stores information. It is important for reasoning, decision-making, and behavior. Working memory can hold no more than about 10 elements at the same time. If we greatly exceed this limit, the efficiency and quality of our cognitive functions decrease. If you continue to overload your brain by forcing it to store too much information in working memory, it loses its processing power. Constant overload deprives us of important periods of inactivity, time when we do nothing and receive no new information, which is necessary for optimal brain function. When we keep the brain too busy, it does not get the rest it needs. We pay for this with worsening short-term and long-term memory because their interaction is disrupted by excessive activity. Constantly swimming in a sea of new information, you sacrifice your peace and creativity. It becomes difficult not only to focus on one task, but you also harm your memory and working capacity. It is not always necessary to dive into new information. It will not make you more productive and it will not increase your happiness. FOMO is the fear of missing out. It controls much of our lives and pushes us to consume as much information as possible. Yes, the human brain can process about 11 million bits of information per second, but our conscious mind can perceive only about 40 bits. The subconscious processing of everything you constantly receive can cause mental exhaustion. Information overload is associated with sleep problems, anxiety, and reduced concentration. When the brain cannot properly process everything you put into it, it releases cortisol and enters a state of stress. I myself like multitasking, but while making this video all my hopes for productivity collapsed. We all want to be more productive. Who does not dream of doing more in less time? That is why we turn to multitasking hoping it will help. But in most cases multitasking is only an illusion of productivity. It is best to minimize distractions and work on one complex task at a time. I am talking about complex tasks that require strong attention, not simple things like washing dishes or cleaning where multitasking is possible. A neuroscientist from the Massachusetts Institute of Technology named Earl Miller states that our brain is not designed for effective multitasking. When people think they are multitasking, they are actually switching quickly between tasks, and each switch has a cognitive cost. It may seem like you are doing a lot, but in reality it reduces efficiency. Multitasking is information overload. It increases stress and causes mental exhaustion by overstimulating the brain. Trying to focus on a complex task while being distracted by external circumstances can lower your effective IQ and reduce the quality of your work. Switching attention and keeping attention on one task require the same brain nutrients. Rapid shifts of attention during multitasking exhaust these resources, and we feel mental fatigue in a short time. If you overcome FOMO and separate yourself from the constant flow of information in which most people are stuck, you will gain a huge advantage. You must learn to stay alone with your thoughts and focus on the task in front of you.